Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome back to the Privilege Stacking series. And today I want to talk about how you are fat because you have no reason to be thin. So, I don't know if you guys have ever heard the concept of starting with why. Having a strong reason why you want to do something, that actually keeps you on track. That's a part of why I talk so much about internal locus of control, because your internal locus of control is what's giving you your reason why. So, I'm going to give you some exotical homework. Take out your journal, and I want you to do this journal prompt. Why do you want to be thin? Why do you want to be fit? And there is no wrong answer, but it is important to be able to answer that question for yourself, because whatever is motivating you, you basically want to have a really strong motivation as to why you are getting in shape. Because a part of why people yo yo, it's because they are getting in shape based on their emotions or their motivation, and emotions come and go. Motivation comes and goes. So I think that's a part of why some people yo yo with their weight. And also, if you're doing it for too many external reasons, I don't recommend centering your life around other people, because people are fickle. So if you're doing it so that some guy will approve of you or something like that, generally speaking, men, they're going to flip flop no matter what size you are. But as far as my reasons why I like to stay on track with my journey of being thin, is because being skinny reduces my anxiety just in general. So, not only is it the foods that reduce my anxiety, because I drink herbal tea every day. That's one of the main ways that I stay slim. I talk about that a lot in the Patreon. By the way, if you're interested in diving deeper into this content, be sure to get the Dark Femininity course. That is a 5-week long course, and it will help you to overcome inferiority complexes. There are over 100 journal prompts in there and stuff, so make sure that you get access to that. But being skinny reduces my anxiety, because a lot of women, they have this social anxiety because they look bad. I mean, that's a part of where the social anxiety comes from. You have a party next week and you need to lose 20 pounds. You've got a vacation in a couple months and now you're stressed out trying to lose 50 pounds. You're taking pictures for your dating profile and you've got 5 chins. You turn to the side, your side profile is fucked up. So for a lot of women, that is one of the sources of anxiety, or at least for me, I would call that micro anxiety. So I talk a lot about micro validation, micro insecurities. So I just made up a new word, micro anxiety. So it may not keep me up at night having a double chin, but it does give a little bit of anxiety when I'm taking a picture, or, basically it makes it less enjoyable for me to capture the moments. It makes it less enjoyable for me to take pictures. I'm less likely to post online or to, like, just be camera ready and stuff like that. So being slim, it literally reduces my anxiety because all those thoughts are gone. I'm not pulling and tugging at my clothes anymore. I'm not worried about whether or not my stomach is bloating. So that's one of my reasons why. And like I said, there's no such thing as a right or wrong reason, as long as your reason resonates with you. Okay, so that's one of mine. It literally reduces my anxiety. Number 2, being thin declutters my mind. So when I'm no longer worried about being skinny or how I overate 3,000 calories, when I'm no longer worried about that, I have so much more mental freedom and energy to invest in this YouTube channel, for example. I never thought that I'd be making videos even discussing this subject. But a part of why I'm able to is because my mind is more freed up. I have more free space in my mind to focus on other stuff. So if you're one of those people that struggles with like ADHD, or you have ADD, maybe you are neurodivergent, you're autistic, you've got like different mental illnesses and like just things that you're managing when it comes to your brain, being skinny and healthy, not only does it reduce brain fog to eat healthy, but also when you're not overwhelmed with insecurities and the PTSD of being fat, then you get to focus all your energy on other things. Because I really do feel like being out of shape and not liking the body that you're in, I consider that to be a form of trauma. I know that other people, they may not think that's a big deal, but I think it's a big deal. So here on this channel, we talk a lot about self-image. So I am willing to acknowledge the fact that, yes, I do think it is a form of trauma to look in the mirror and to dislike what you see, or to feel like a foreigner in your own body. Have you ever felt like your own body has betrayed you? Because I know that I used to feel like that when I was bigger. Like my knees would hurt sometimes because my butt. So I carry weight in kind of like my hips. I have an hourglass shape. So you know that if you have an hourglass shape, if you start getting bigger, your butt starts getting bigger. So then maybe you're trying to do a yoga pose, maybe you're trying to squat. For some of you guys, you're so big that you can't even squat over the toilet. So when you're going to the bathroom, like if you have to stop at a gas station and you're going on a road trip, now you're stressed out. Like, oh my God, I'm going to have to sit on the toilet because my thigh muscles are not even strong enough to squat. So I have to like clean the toilet. Like I'm dead serious. This is really a thing. So for some women, they go to the bathroom in the gas station when they're on a road trip. They have to spend 5 or 10 minutes cleaning the toilet seat so that they can sit down because their thigh muscles are not strong enough to like squat. So that's a form of micro anxiety. It's something that can make your life a little bit stressful. It may not sound like a big deal, but it does add up over time. Something else that used to happen to me when I was thicker was my balance was off. Like I noticed that I had a harder time balancing. Whenever I would try to do a yoga class, I had a more difficult time doing the poses and stuff. So for some women who are very obese, they literally will have an asthma attack just walking up the stairs, or like they can't even walk across a parking lot without being sweaty. By the way, that was another micro insecurity I used to have when I was bigger. Everywhere would be sweaty. It was so annoying. But that leads me to my next reason why I enjoy being thin. Being thin makes the summertime more enjoyable. So, anybody who knows me knows that summer is my least favorite season. I do not like extremely hot weather. And a part of it was because when I was thicker, I would get so sweaty and I would sweat in all the wrong places. Okay, so it's like, let's say you want to wear a sundress. Not only am I insecure about the sundress because I'm kind of hanging out, I have to make sure my butt's not hanging out, make sure my boobs aren't hanging out. It just looks sloppy, like you're spilling out of your dress sometimes. And then on top of that, you're sweating in between your boobs, you're sweating between your legs, you're sweating on your armpits, the back of your neck, your butt is sweating. Like, just no. So, being thin, a part of thin privilege for me is that during the summertime now, I actually enjoy summertime. I have no beef with the summertime anymore, okay? And another thing that used to make me not like the summertime was summer is when everybody is showing their skin. So everybody else is wearing their cute little sundresses and their crop tops and their bikinis. And I used to not like the summer as much because in a bikini, that's when you're showing everything. Your body is being held together by strings at that point. So it's like when I was out of shape, I would be insecure when it came to wearing a bikini because it's like, okay, your whole entire stomach is out, your lower back is out, your lower booty is out, your boobs are out, armpits, your full back is out. So if you've got the bra strap fat, just your whole body is showing. So that was a micro insecurity that I used to have that I no longer have. So, yes, that's a part of the reason why I enjoy being thin and want to stay thin. It's because now I get to enjoy the summertime. I cannot wait. I'm actually shopping for sundresses right now. I'm actually waiting for the day after Christmas sale. I'm hoping that they're going to have a sale on Shein because I'm going to get so many cute ass sundresses, especially the backless ones. So now that I'm back to my normal weight of being slim, I can just go back to wearing my backless dresses and enjoying the summertime again. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, I've only been like thick one time. I was a little bit chunky. This was during COVID. So that was the only time that I was kind of thick. My thickness lasted for about 4 months and then I started like losing the weight. But there was definitely a difference. And one of the differences is when I was thicker, I didn't like summertime because a lot of the summer clothes, they were not supportive enough. I could not hold up my entire boobs with just a string. With a halter top. So there's just a little string holding you up, or like, those backless shirts where it's like there's just one string in the back or something. I couldn't wear that shit because I would be so self-conscious that I'm literally going to fall out of my shirt. Or like when it comes to the shirts that are backless with the strings, sometimes I was self-conscious like, oh my gosh, I feel like my back is bulging out of the string. So it's almost like I'm being squeezed like a can of biscuits or something. Like it's just squeezing my skin and it just makes the fat bulge out of the strings. So no, I didn't feel cute. But now a part of my thin privilege is I have no more beef with the summertime. Winter, spring, summer, and fall, I feel cute all year round, 365 days a year, baby. I love expressing myself with fashion. and like the cute seasonal clothes. So I don't have to worry about that. Oh, and that's another part of my thin privilege that I like. It's the fact that I don't have to stress out about buying clothes because I actually used to not buy as many clothes. This is when I got chunky, and that was because I would always tell myself, oh, I'm going to lose the weight. Or I would say, like, I don't want to accept the fact that I got bigger. So, no, I don't want to spend $200 on new clothes that are bigger just so I can lose weight and then spend another $200 on clothes that are smaller. So, that was another like micro insecurity I had. It was kind of like an inconvenience, basically, having to buy bigger clothes and then having to go back and buy the smaller clothes again. But as a thin person, I don't have to worry about that because some of the clothes that I bought last summer, well, actually, some of them are starting to get too big now. So I officially went back down to a size 4. So I was already skinny before, but now I'm a little bit skinnier. But I feel like it's much easier for me to style myself when the clothes are a little bit too big because, for example, some of my shirts are a size medium. So a size medium shirt is too big for me now. But all I have to do is just wear a padded bra, or like, I can wear another shirt under it if I need to. I can layer it or something. Or I can just wear a coat, like a little cardigan over it, and then it's not that noticeable that my shirt is baggy. I just feel like my styling and fashion problems are much easier to solve the thinner I am and the more in shape I am because it looks intentional. My fashion mistakes look intentional when my body looks like a model, if that makes sense. So that's another part of my thin privilege. That's a part of why I like being thin. Number 5 is that being thin builds my confidence because I have achieved a goal. So, a lot of bigger women don't realize that being thin does require maintenance. I don't care if she was born thin or she's naturally thin. You know, this argument they try to give where it's like, well, she's naturally thin. Okay, well, she's doing something to maintain her thinness. Clearly, she's not eating 50,000 calories a day unless she has a thyroid issue or something. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about women who are thin and healthy. Health requires maintenance. So even the girls that you think are quote unquote naturally thin, okay, so then from childhood, she's been eating healthy. Since childhood, she has known how to regulate her emotions. Maybe she's not an emotional eater. She knows how to control her boredom. Like when she's bored, she doesn't open up the fridge and get some fried chicken and some pizza. So that still is a form of discipline. So being thin, it actually it increases my confidence knowing that I have like lost 5 pounds, or like, just getting on the scale, seeing myself make a plan, like making a little meal plan for myself and then following the meal plan and following my little workout plan, and then seeing the scale give me the results that I want, or looking in the mirror and seeing that I've got some muscle tone or whatever, or like being able to lift heavier weights. I haven't been doing weightlifting lately, but being able to lift weights that are a little bit heavier. That is called a positive feedback loop. This is very important to have if you want to maintain your internal locus of control. And so I really do feel like thin women who are on some sort of fitness journey, just any fitness journey, you don't even have to be thin. Even if you're big and you are on a fitness journey, that whole concept of going on a journey of self-improvement and like having this sense of like discipline and waking up every day so you can go on a run, that builds your confidence over time. So that's another aspect of thin privilege that I love. I'm never letting go of that. I love the fact that I have worked hard for my body. I love the fact that I'm disciplined. And honestly, I love how I feel after 3 days of eating super healthy. Then I look in the mirror and my stomach is on point. I love looking snatched. So, yes, it's like a reward. It's a positive feedback loop that you're giving to yourself. It's like a gift that you're giving to your future self. That's how I view my health journey. That's how I view my fitness journey. And by the way, it's a lifestyle. It's not something to where it's like, oh, once I lose 10 pounds, then I'm going to go back to eating like trash. No, it's supposed to be a lifestyle. And so I love the fact that I'm building self trust. That's another aspect of being thin that nobody talks about. Like when it comes to the psychology behind like weight loss and stuff, you are actually building self trust. Did you know that some women, they can't trust themselves around chocolate? I mean, I gotta be honest, I can't really trust myself around chocolate sometimes. But seriously, like for some women, they can't trust themselves to lose 5 pounds. They can't trust themselves to go to the gym. They can't trust themselves to eat healthy. But when you do that consistently, when you practice saying no, when you practice moderation and portion control, you are actually building up your confidence as a pretty girl, and you're building up your discipline. So that's another positive feedback loop. That's a complete internal locus of control. Nobody else has to police your food. You are basically moderating yourself. So I consider it to be kind of a way of healing my inner child as well. Yes, that's right. I believe that being healthy and thin and fit, that is a part of healing my inner child, because you know how when you were a kid, your parents, they were supposed to tell you like, no, don't eat that. You don't want to ruin your dinner by eating dessert first. All of those little things that you were supposed to learn as a child, when you decide to take control over your eating habits as an adult, it's a way of reparenting yourself, because you're teaching yourself again ABC 1, 2, 3. What are the ABCs of nutrition? What types of vitamins do I need in my body? Okay, I'm feeling like I have low energy. Do I have low iron? Do I have anemia? So it's like a form of self care. Being thin, this is not just about aesthetics. I talk about privilege from a decentered perspective on this channel. So when I talk about being thin, I'm not talking about it from the perspective of the male gaze, although that is a thing as well. You can definitely use your thin privilege with the male gaze as a form of micro validation. I do believe that you have more dating options, and you may attract men who are in shape, or at least that's what I noticed. Like, the more in shape I am, the more in shape I attract in terms of guys. So, like, if I have my body looking like a model, I've noticed that more guys will try to approach me who also look like a model. So he'll have the six pack, he will have the biceps, he will be 6'2" or whatever. So that is a thing as well. Like, there's no problem. I don't have a problem with that being a piece of your validation. Because, like I said, there is no wrong way to be beautiful. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who are emotional eaters, always carry a Ziploc bag full of vegetables with you if you're an emotional eater. So if you're a snacker like me, or you have a tendency to graze sometimes, just carry around some vegetables, okay? Raw vegetables. I'm talking about like broccoli, carrots, celery. Just get a big Ziploc bag and just bring those to work, so that when it's time to snack, at least you're snacking on vegetables. I'm not saying you can't eat the cookies. You can eat the cookies. I just went to the bakery today. I literally got 3 items from the bakery. One of the items was a gigantic donut. So I got a giant donut, but I had my Ziploc bag of vegetables, so I made sure to eat a little bit of vegetables first, fill my stomach up just a little bit with some fiber, and then I ate the donut. So that's just a tip. If you're one of those people who gets triggered, or maybe you like to eat when you go out. So that's another thing too, by the way. You want to figure out when you have the most cravings. So for me personally, I usually want to go out to eat whenever I'm in my car. I've noticed that, like, there's something about being in the car. I feel like it's because, you're in the car. You can go to the drive-thru, you can go to the bakery, you can go to the coffee shop. So whenever I'm in the car, that's when my brain starts thinking, oh, you can stop at Sonic. By the way, Sonic is one of the main places that made me like chunky during COVID. But I used to think to myself, like, oh, I can stop at Sonic. I can get myself like the ocean water. The little ocean water thing that they have at Sonic? I was like, ooh, I can get that. So you may want to keep track of when you're the most triggered, and then carry around a little Ziploc bag, or you can carry a large Ziploc bag. I actually carried a freezer bag worth of raw vegetables today. I just put it in my tote bag. So you can just have that with you. And then if you're driving or something, and then suddenly your brain is like, oh, I want food, then you can just put a piece of celery in your mouth instead of driving through the McDonald's. Because I know for me, the main thing that sends me signals of hunger, even though I'm not hungry, it's like when I drive past a Starbucks, when I drive past like a Taco Bell or Popeyes or something, or Wendy's, or like whatever fast food place or restaurant is my favorite, that's what makes me think about food. So if I have food right there next to me, it kind of gets rid of that scarcity mindset. Because sometimes, like in the past, I have over restricted myself, and then I'm like, okay, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to go to the fast food place. And so that's bad. You don't want to do that. You don't want to over restrict. You want to have an abundance mindset about food. So carrying food in your bag, always having some healthy snacks handy, that helps me to like not get triggered and then go get the donuts and fast food every day. But another reason that I enjoy my thin privilege is because the more fit I am, the more relaxing it is to work out. I know, you never thought working out would be relaxing, right? But when I was chunky and out of shape, I would be huffing and puffing. I'd be drenched in sweat. I couldn't do stuff for more than like 30 seconds. I would be so discouraged and like just annoyed. I would be in a bad mood. And that's because I was out of shape. But the more fit I am, the easier it is for me to do those yoga poses. The easier it is for me to do Pilates and bar and like Zumba class, salsa class, all of these different things. I can go on the elliptical for an hour and just listen to music and zone out if I wanted to. Versus when I was out of shape, I would be huffing and puffing on the elliptical. So that's another reason why I like to be thin. It's because it makes my workouts more relaxing and it makes me focus more on just like my mental health during my workout as opposed to, oh shit, I need to lose these pounds. Number 7, the skinnier I am, the cuter I look in my workout outfits, and it makes me excited to go out and exercise. Yes, that is one of the reasons why I like to stay thin. It's because I feel beautiful and cute when I put on my little running shorts or my little skirt. I love like tennis skirts and like, that aesthetic with like the little top that matches the skirt. I love that aesthetic. I love going jogging and my little backless, the strappy back thing that I just talked about earlier, the one that can cut off your circulation when you're fat. So when you're skinny, you can wear those strappy sports bras with all the strings in the back and stuff, and then it looks all high fashion and cute. You could even wear a one strap sports bra. Like I just bought one that has only one strap on it. So that's one of the other reasons why I like being thin. It's because I literally enjoy looking cute and looking like a Pilates princess. Oh, speaking of princesses, I do feel like the princess treatment increases when you are thin. And I do agree with a lot of the other exoticals that talk about kind of like this dainty privilege. It's almost like having a type of dainty privilege or feminine privilege, or like people want to help you carry your bags, they want to help you with your groceries. So, yes, you feel more like a princess. You look cute in your outfits, nothing's bulging out or hanging out. And just a random tip, one thing that I did was I figured out my top 10 healthy raw foods. And the reason that I figured out what raw fruits and vegetables I liked is because if it's raw, that means you can just take it out of the refrigerator and just eat it. You can just sit it on your counter or just eat it in the morning. So this would be something like bananas, grapes. You can eat it instantly, so you can have that instant gratification and you don't have to cook anything, because part of why some of us are out of shape is because we literally can't cook. You can't cook healthy meals, or you're just too tired. When you get home from work, you don't feel like spending 45 minutes baking something healthy. You don't feel like getting the chicken out of the fridge and cutting it up and then putting the seasonings on it and all that. And so that's why one of my biggest things that helped me was figuring out my top 10 healthy raw foods. So mine are arugula, grapes, tomatoes. Oh my God, I'm obsessed with tomatoes. I literally was carrying around a Ziploc bag of tomatoes. Because you know how I said to carry around the Ziploc bag? Just like, how guys carry around that big gallon of water and, they drink their water throughout the day? I do the same thing with vegetables. So I will have my bag of tomatoes. What I like to do actually is I will get my cherry tomatoes, I'll put them in the Ziploc bag, and I will spray some of my 0-calorie spray, not Pam. Pam is extremely unhealthy, but I'll spray like it's similar to Pam, but it's made out of like olive oil and it has 0 calories. So I will spray that on the cherry tomatoes. Then I will put my favorite seasoning in the Ziploc bag. Just dump your favorite seasoning in there. And then I close the bag and shake it up. So remember like the shake and bake chicken and stuff like that? You know how you shake it up in the bag? So I do that with my favorite vegetables. I put a little bit of oil on them, and then I put my seasoning, and then I shake it up. And that's going to be my snack for the day. But yeah, so my favorite raw foods are arugula, grapes, tomatoes, celery, pears. Oh my God, I love pears. I love Kamas pears. Those are in season right now in the grocery store. Make sure to get some Kamas pears, especially the ones from Trader Joe's. Oh my God, they're so good. I love watermelon, mango, papaya. So what you can do with like watermelon, what I do with watermelon, mango, and papaya is I like to eat that kind of stuff for breakfast. Sometimes I will put some tahini on there, but just be careful though with the seasonings. If you are trying to lose a lot of water weight, you don't want to put as much seasoning on there because of the sodium. But if you do need like some extra electrolytes or something, or like basically if you don't mind having sodium, yeah, you can do watermelon with tahini. You can do papaya, mango, put some tahini or some chamoy on there. Some of my other favorites are onions and avocado. So, what I used to do, this is back when I was not as in shape as what I am right now, but when I was like mid size, still losing weight, I would just do tortilla chips and then I would just put it in onions. So, instead of the store bought Tostitos salsa, I would just have some onions and some tomato, that's fresh fruit and vegetable. And then that would be my little fake salsa. Side note, something else that I did and it helped me was eating with cute small plates and bowls. One of the girls in the Discord mentioned this recently, and I used to do the same thing. So you can buy, like, I love the Asian products. You can go to Daiso Japan, you can go to like one of those stores where they have the small bowls or like the little small cups and stuff, and you can eat with chopsticks because it helps to slow you down. Oh, and by the way, make sure that you're chewing at least 20 times before you're swallowing. Just so you know, generally speaking, you're supposed to chew like 20 times. You should not be inhaling your food like a vacuum cleaner. So doing stuff like that, counting 20 times before I swallow my food, that helps me to get the reward signal in my brain. It helps give your brain time to get that dopamine hit. But another reason why I enjoy thin privilege is because I feel beautiful in basic dresses. You know those basic ass cotton dresses? You know the little trailer trash dresses? I'm sorry, I just don't know what else to call them, okay? So, you know the dresses that are like $5, you get them at Walmart. They have them on like Shein, they have them on Temu, and they're just made of cotton. It's just a very basic sundress. Sometimes it's backless or it's just a little halter dress. I feel so pretty in those basic dresses. Like I can slay with a basic ass dress versus when I was chunkier, the slaying was not there. I was asking myself, okay, is slaying in the room with us? Because this is not slaying. It's not giving what it's supposed to give. But when you are super fit and in shape, you can slay in a basic cotton dress. You can slay in a $2 strapless tube top. So that's a privilege. That is absolutely a privilege. Number 8 is that being thin, it's good for my self image. It's good for my self image. It's good for my public image. When I use that term public image, what I mean is the way others perceive me. I like when others perceive me as being fit. I like it when people ask me for advice in the Whole Foods. They just randomly ask me, hey, what trail mix do you like? I told you guys about that, about how when I became thin again, then suddenly people want my opinion when it comes to health stuff, even here on this YouTube channel. Because I'm able to talk about this in depth so much, you guys like when I make this kind of content. But I think I'm on number 9. I feel like Superwoman when I'm eating healthy, vegetables in particular. They give me energy. I can think clearly. I'm no longer constipated, so I don't have undigested boo boo in my stomach. And I actually feel stronger when I'm eating healthy. So that's just a side thing. Basically, the brain fog goes away, the food coma goes away because I don't have food comas when I'm just eating celery or vegetables or, vegetable soup or something healthy. I feel so much more energized. But what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.